A high-level source within Ecuador says Australian Julian Assange will be expelled within hours to days from the Ecuadorian embassy, according to WikiLeaks. A tweet says Ecuador already has an agreement with the United Kingdom for Mr Assange's arrest. It has been reported that Ecuador's president was trying to surrender the Australian in exchange for debt relief from the United States, which has previously been reported by the New York Times. The ABC has not independently verified the WikiLeaks reports. Earlier this week, Ecuadorian President Lenin Moreno said Mr Assange had repeatedly violated the terms of his asylum in the Andean nation's London embassy, where he has lived for nearly 7 years. Mr Moreno said Mr Assange did not have the right to hack private accounts or phones and could not intervene in the politics of other countries, especially those that have friendly relations with Ecuador. Mr Moreno made the comments after private photographs of him and his family at a time years ago when they were living in Europe were circulated on social media. Although he stopped short of explicitly blaming Mr Assange for the leak, the government said it believed the photos were shared by WikiLeaks. Mr Assange has violated the agreement we reached with him and his legal counsel too many times, Mr Moreno told the Ecuadorian Radio Broadcasters Association. External link, tweet, WikiLeaks claimed Mr Moreno's remarks were in retribution for it having reported on corruption accusations against him, although he denied wrongdoing. If President Moreno wants to illegally terminate a refugee publisher's asylum to cover up an offshore corruption scandal, history will not be kind, WikiLeaks said. What happens next? Assange took refuge in Ecuador's London embassy in 2012 to avoid being extradited to Sweden, where authorities wanted to question him as part of a sexual assault investigation. That probe was later dropped, but Mr Assange fears he could be extradited to face charges in the United States, where federal prosecutors are investigating WikiLeaks. While the only live criminal proceeding currently involving Mr Assange is his relatively minor failure to appear in court to face the Swedish extradition hearing, Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter and founder of The Intercept website Glenn Greenwald believes Mr Assange will still be arrested as soon as he leaves the embassy building. He will be arrested on that charge, Greenwald told the ABC's The Signal podcast. And the question then is, what would the British authorities do? But the bigger question still is whether the US government will assert criminal charges against him and seek his extradition to the United States. ABC/Reuters